A very good afternoon. On behalf of Center for Medical Electronics, Anna University, I'm very happy to welcome Mr. Anand for the FDP program on wearable devices. Mr. Anand completed his bachelor's degree from BITS Pilani and did his executive MBA from IIM Kolkata. He is currently working as an IT leader in a private company. He has about 27 years of experience and has been holding senior positions in the IT industry in various top MNCs. He has been associated with Sri Bhagavat Mission for more than a decade. So today he'll be presenting a lecture on the topic, how to get freed from all our problems using scientific methods. We are very eagerly waiting to listen from you. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Can you start presenting the slides, please?
Yes, sir. It is already presented.
The screen, sir.
Right. Okay, that's the first slide I'm in. So, Sasikala, can we start or?
Oh, yes, we can start.
Everybody will be able to see, I guess, right? Okay. Okay, I'll get started then. Thank you. Okay. Thank you all. First of all, I wanted to thank you, Sasikala and the team, for providing me this opportunity to speak in front of you. And I know that this is completely an unrelated topic. I got to know that there is some medical workshop related to some medical subject which is going on, and this may be a little unrelated, but she was requesting me, and then we thought we will. And thanks for the opportunity provided. And just to, as Sasikala already mentioned, I'm Anand, and I'm with working in the IT industry, and got associated with this institution about 10 years back or so. And so that's the quick background, and we'll move on. So I think the key question that you all must be having is, what's in it for me? How is this going to help me, or what is the purpose of this whole session? Why do you have to listen? So I know this is post lunch, so it's going to be really hard for me to keep you all interested and keep you at the edge of your seats. So I'll try my best to do that. So what's in it for me? I just wanted to give a quick background about this whole thing. So I just want to narrate a quick incident, a short incident, so that which will actually explain you about this whole thing and what are we trying to achieve. So I had one old friend who I met sometime back, and we were just chatting casually, right? So I think it was we met after 10-15 years or so. So we were just casually chatting about various things, and various challenges he has, how his life is, what are the things he is doing currently, and all those things, his family relationships, and what are the challenges at work environment, and financial issues, challenges, and which everybody has, right? All of us would have faced at some point of time and must be facing also. So we were just casually discussing. So he is of he has some little bit of background on philosophy and spiritual. He has that kind of affinity as well. Whereas I'm more from the, I was more for science and logic. I was always for that kind of approach for about anything. So he was, we were chatting casually. We were walking on the beach and chatting, had a chat. And he was like telling me that venting out his frustration. He was, talking about a lot of problems, worries, and so many things that we all come across every day, right? He was talking about it, and he was like saying, talking about a lot of raising some philosophical questions also, like, what is the purpose of this whole living? Why am I, what am I trying to do? What is the rush? Where are we all rushing towards? Where are we all running towards? So those kind of questions he was raising. So we were just having a quick chat, and so I was suggesting that if you want to, I was just giving an example. For example, see, if you're buying a phone, right? So if you do not understand the operating instructions of that phone, then obviously if you press some button, it will not work as per your expectations, right? If you, for example, you're buying a smartphone and you do not know how to operate, right? If you just press something, then thinking that the volume to increase the volume button, if you press something else, then some other function will happen. And if you, it will keep on working haphazardly, right? It will not work according to the requirement, your requirement. So that's the problem. If you do not know how to operate a phone, then you will not be able to operate it correctly. It will not work as per your expectation. So I was just trying to explain that to de-link this whole, all these problems with any sort of philosophy or any kind of spirituality or any spiritual concepts, and look at it in a scientific or a logical approach. So that's what I was explaining him. So similarly, if we do not, and if we do not understand, if we do not know the operating manual of this whole system, which is our mind especially, and body of course, if we do not understand the operating manual, if we do not know how to operate, then obviously we are in for a problem, right? We cannot expect that to function as per our expectation, right? We all have so many expectations. I know, of course, I should be happy, I should be doing this, doing that. So also lots of expectations, but we cannot expect the system to function as per our requirements unless we understand the operating manual, how to operate this whole system. Unless we understand that correctly, it is wrong it is unfair to expect that this should work as per our expectation, right? So that's what I was trying to kind of explain him, and told him how this mind functions, because I got this understanding because I was also kind of searching for so many things. I think as she mentioned about maybe for about 20 years and various philosophies and spiritual concepts and practices, etc. Though I was more always looking at a scientific or a logical approach. That was my interest rather than based on some beliefs or some gurus or masters, etc. And then when I came across this concept, which is a scientific or logical approach, it was really amazing. It was totally, I was taken back, surprised totally. And once I got this understanding, it is a simple, I realized that it's a very commonsensical thing. It is nothing, there is no rocket science. It is simple scientific or simple logical approach, which helps me, which helps actually in, getting rid of all these problems and worries that we have in our day-to-day life. So it has, once I understood this and see how, basically understand how this system operates, then I was able to operate it completely, error free, or completely, I should say. It was amazing experience, and it was completely 180-degree shift. From then on, it is, the way I see things, the perspective of life, how I see things in life, everything has drastically changed. So that's how it was. And all this, as I said, doesn't require any great rocket science or any great philosophy or some 20 years of practice, nothing of that sort. I just realized that one simple commonsensical thing is what we were all missing. And once I understood that, and that was the experience I had. And so rightly so, that is the objective of this session. So we are trying to spread this message as much as possible so that people can benefit, as lot of mystical things and lot of special effects, or some what should I say, some grandeur is actually attached to all these things, philosophy and all these things. It has become like a far reachable or very far away from all of us. We don't see that, see the impact in our day-to-day lives. It has become a very far reachable goal for all of us, right? So that is why we kind of develop this concept of looking at it logically and having a scientific approach to this whole thing, which will help us get rid of all our problems and worries. And that's the objective of this session as well, so that whoever, all of you all, can get benefited, and you can. That was the objective of this session. So that's the benefit that I would like to see upon all of you. Okay, going into the session. Yeah, so this could be, as I said, this is especially this is a post-lunch session. So please remain focused. And of course, there is no rocket science or great knowledge or intelligence required. I'm going to talk about basic, simple things only, day-to-day life stuff, simple things. So it'll be very easy to follow. So no problems at all. And of course, keep yourself on mute if you're not, so that we can have a peaceful session, and always keep an open mind. Okay, open mind is something like if you've already pre-concluded that this is how it is going to be, or this is what he's going to say, and this is how I know this already. A lot of things you may want to, you might have already heard some things when I say something, right? You might be able to connect it to some other concept or some other thoughts you may already have. So if you keep comparing, then you may probably miss what I'm going to say here. So that's why it is always better to keep an open mind. Just listen with an open mind, like how we are conducting an experiment in a scientific in a lab, right? We don't decide the result before doing the experiment, right? We always do the experiment and see what is the result, and then accordingly conclude. So that's the approach. Basically, an open-minded. Just be open-minded, and then try to understand. We can debate, argue, no problem. So then then we will come to the conclusion. It's going to be a joint effort, right? It's not that I'm going to just keep on giving a lecture and you just have to listen. No, nothing like that. It's going to be a joint effort. We can jointly explore what is happening here in the system. So with an open mind, so that we are open to any result, that is any outcome that we're going to arrive at. So that was the objective. And as I said, be interactive. You can raise hands or whatever options I think the organizer suggests. You can raise hand and ask questions, and all of that is possible at any time. If you want to stop, please stop. We can listen to the questions, no problem, because this has to be a completely interactive session. There is no point in giving a continuous lecture. So unless you understand it clearly, it's going to be it will not be useful, right? So please interrupt as and when required.
Participants, if you want to have questions, you can raise hands so that we can unmute you. So at any point of time, you can raise hands and we can have a discussion.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. Okay. So what are the various problems? All of us are coming across so many problems in our day-to-day life, right? So many things. So these are just some examples which I've put in the slide. Be it in terms of money or relationships or job, work pressure, or job satisfaction, studies. People want to achieve, some, not able to achieve their targets in studies, marriage, kids, relationships, wealth, house, car, financial benefits, and so many things. These are all kind of some of the problems we have, right? And if you see the other one, these are more internal, the other one, previous one was more of external related, physical activities or physical world related. But these are more psychological, right? Worries, always worried about, maybe my results in my studies. I'm not able to concentrate. A lot of negative thoughts. I want to start a new business, but a lot of these negative thoughts. I'm worried. How am I going to proceed? How will I perform in my exam or interview? Having fear, confusions, not able to decide, make a right decision, unnecessary thoughts. A lot of things happened in the past. Something must have happened in the past. And a lot of those thoughts are coming in again and again, unnecessary thoughts, which is killing me, which is, making me worried. It results in anger, frustration, so many things. All these are, so the previous one was more of external activities related, which is more physically, physically, you can see that physically. And then this is more of a psychological stuff. So we have both kind of problems, all of us. I mean, the list is not finite. Of course, we can add so many things to this list, but the point is there are one is the physical world related problems and worries that we have, and then the psychological problems that we have. These are the two kinds of problems. Of course, physical, okay, we'll park it for now. We will address the psychological and see what is happening, how are you going to deal with it? That's the whole objective. So as I said, we are going to take a completely logical approach. It is going to be we're going to talk about science, simple science. I think you all are from science background. We're going to talk about simple science, which is provable, measurable. Anybody who's doing this experiment can see the result. There is no special knowledge required, no special skill set required. So no philosophy, no practice, nothing of that sort. We're not talking about any meditation, yoga, nothing of that sort. This is going to be a completely logical approach. That's what I wanted to. And this logic requires very simple, maybe even a a 15-year-old, a basic common sense is what we're going to talk about. A 15-year-old will be able to understand. So we're not going to talk about something complex. That's the background. Okay, so just let us understand. To understand, how our mind functions, few things which we'll ponder over, and then we'll get into the subject slowly. So how our mind behaves. Just say if you want to, some people might be having some desire to buy a home or buy a car, right? Or something, anything else that you want to do. So how our mind functions when you are able to achieve the target, when you're able to achieve what you want, when you're getting what you want, then of course we are, happiness, of course, right? We are that pleasure or we are satisfied, whatever you can call. It's all a positive moment, right? And same time, if it is not happening, if it is not happening as per your expectation, when something happens as per your expectation, then it results in a positive outcome. At the same time, when it doesn't happen as per your expectation, it results in a negative outcome, right? Which is a disappointment, worries, sadness, unhappiness, whatever you can call, right? That's how it is, right, for all of us. So here, if you see, if you just drill down a little deeper, so what happens here? So when, irrespective of the object, right? So whenever, if you see whether it, see, there are some peculiar things about mind here, right? It is not the same object is not giving happiness to everybody, right? Suppose, I'm interested in buying a car, then probably it may give happiness. It may, give a positive emotion, or I may feel happier if I reach the target. Somebody else might be interested in something, which may be much beyond than a car, something else maybe, right? Much more than a car, then he will not feel happy. So so just if you look at it, if the object is giving you that happiness, then the same object should give happiness to everybody equally, right? Right? So it is not that way, right? So it is not the same object is not giving happiness to everybody. Only some object giving happiness to some people, and some people, do not feel happier with that. Even a house or anything else, or even a marriage or relationships, whatever. I mean, these are just examples. So which means the object is not the point of which actually triggers. It's only a trigger point. That is not the reason for the happiness. It is the mindset that we have, right? Some people might feel happy with the same, and for the same object, some people may not feel happy, right? So that's how. So it's little weird, right? It is not behaving the same way, right? Or also even assume, even if if you want to buy a car and you've got a car, say after 6 months, is it going to be an everlasting happiness? Is it going to be everlasting satisfaction, peace? No, right? After 6 months, you're used to that. So now you want to do something else. You want to buy maybe the next model car. Your target will be a bigger car or something else, something bigger. So you're not satisfied. You've lost that happiness was there maybe for 3 weeks, 4 weeks, whatever time, or 2 months, 3 months, whatever you can call. Same with anything, right? Even with relationships or a new house or a new job. Of course, all of us have experience, right? New job, initially 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, we'll be very excited. After some time, once we get used to that excitement or the intensity will come down right? So that's how mind functions. So there is another angle to it, right? So mind doesn't want the same monotonous, boring stuff or routine thing. It doesn't like. Maybe it wants some changes always. So these are the different angles. This is how mind works, right? So some of the questions to ponder, right? If you see, even when as I said, even when the desire is fulfilled, does it lead to everlasting happiness? No, right? Because if it was, then we will all be happy always, right? Because any desire which gets fulfilled, we will be completely happy always. We should be happy for our lifetime, right? But that is not the case. So which means it doesn't lead to that. Similarly, as I said, if the same object is the reason, if the object is the reason for our happiness, then does the same object make everyone happy? No. So it depends on our desire, and if we achieve, if we are able to achieve the desire, then we are feeling happy, and if we are not able to, then that creates a disappointment. So that's how it is. Any questions so far? I'll probably continue if assuming it's a silence. Okay. So if you see how our mind functions, So it is something like a phone, like how you see in phone. There are so many apps that you use. A lot of apps, Ola, Swiggy, and so many apps that we use. There is a touch screen. If you touch, then it will make you'll be able to call somebody, you'll be able to speak to somebody, and you can record, you can do a lot of functions on the app, right? This is the front end, right? The apps are the front end, whereas in the back end or within the phone, within the equipment, the equipment can only understand ones and zeros, right? It doesn't understand whatever you are touching, whatever the functions you press, whether to call or disconnect or mute, unmute, record, whatever it is, the system or the devices inside the phone, which is behind the front screen, understands only ones and zeros. It doesn't understand anything else. It doesn't understand your app. It doesn't know whether you're using an Ola app or Swiggy app or whatever it is. It doesn't understand anything, right? So similarly, so can we conclude that mind, if you see, as we were just discussing about how it functions, desire, happiness, if it is a disappointment. So basically what happens is whenever you achieve what you want, or whenever in the external world, when things happen as per your wish, as per your expectation, then it results in a positive outcome. And when things doesn't happen as per your wish, or things happen the other way around, then it results in a negative outcome, right? So mind actually understands only these two things, like how ones and zeros. It only understands pleasure, pain, or happiness, unhappiness, or positive, negative, whichever way you can call. It doesn't understand. It doesn't matter whether the reason is because of my car or my office or my relationships, my at home, or my kids or my money, whatever may be the reason. But mind only understands these two things, which is happiness, unhappiness, pain or pleasure, pain, sorrow, happiness, whatever, right? Only positive, negative. It can only understand that. Only with that, that has been the biggest problem, right? And we always want happiness. Nobody likes to, nobody invites unhappiness. Nobody invites negative emotions, right? Negative thoughts, negative feelings. We all want to be always happy. We all want to be satisfied, fulfilled. That's what everybody is looking at, right? So mind understands only this language, though the reason could be anything. Reason, as I said, the reason could be anything in the world. Though even if you conquer the entire world, even if you are able to see the entire world, you can only see through the mind. Mind is the window through you can see, and mind is the window or the screen that you can realize or sense anything. If something gives happiness, then you will go and do it repeatedly. If something gives unhappiness, you will not do that activity, right? So only this is the parameter mind understands. That was the objective of this slide, to show you that though in the external phase it may look different, but inside it is only the ones and zeros, which is happiness and unhappiness. Okay, so now let us drill down. So now let us try to understand how mind functions, because we said in the beginning, right? Once you understand, once we kind of the operating manual or the how to operate this whole system, then you will be able to manage it in a much better way. I can promise you that if you're able to follow this, and by the end of this session, you will be able to manage your mind in a much better way, and you can be freed from all your problems, a permanent solution, right? So we'll go through that now. Now we'll get into the understanding of how mind functions. This is just an example. So how our body functions, which all of us know, right? Our body has so many internal organs like lungs, heart, so many other things. You all might be knowing better than me. So there is something called an auto mode. So involuntary actions, right? All these breathing, blood circulation, blood flow, your digestion process, or anything, your kidney cleaning process, and all the processes that are happening inside, heartbeat, are all involuntary. They're all functioning in an auto mode, right? What do I mean by auto mode? Okay. Say, for example, I cannot say that I was engrossed in watching a movie or a cricket match and I forgot to breathe. I forgot this breathing function. No, we will not say that, right? Or I was engrossed in watching something or talking to my friend over phone, and then I forgot to digest. I forgot this digestion process. No, nobody will say that, right? It is irrespective of your it is not waiting for your permission or your consent. It is an auto function happening within us, right? All this machine, this supercomputer within us is functioning in an auto mode, right? Of course, you can control certain things at a superficial level, but otherwise everything is happening in an auto mode, right? Breathing, blood circulation, blood flow, heartbeat, and a lot of other things, right? That was my point. So there is also this manual mode. Okay, there is also this manual mode. If you see, these are all voluntary functions that we do. You know, running, swimming, walking, dancing, all, or doing work at office. All of this is voluntary functions. We may decide to do or not, right? See, for example, today I might want to take a vacation or a leave, then I don't have to work today, right? Or today I want to, I feel like going for a swimming, then I can do it. Or today I do not want to do something, I can simply take rest and sleep at my home, right? So these are all voluntary functions. So these are all not in an auto mode, it's a manual mode. What I call as manual mode is voluntary functions. It is up to you whether you want to do it or not, right? So the previous one was of involuntary functions, which happens on its own. Whereas here, the other function of your body is manual mode, whereas you can do things voluntarily based on your requirement and your situation. So there are two modes here, right? So similarly in mind also, does it have something like that, right? In fact, you will not believe, I was also surprised when I got to know that mind also has two such functions, right? Let us see how it happens. Okay. Auto mode, how auto mode functions in mind. Okay, see, I'm speaking to you now. I'm looking at the laptop screen, right? So it doesn't mean that my mind will be completely here, right? Suddenly, when I'm maybe looking at this laptop screen, suddenly some thought may come, oh, I have to upgrade this laptop. Okay, I have to repair this screen. I have to change this color. I have to buy a new laptop, something else. Or suddenly, somebody might, one of you, the participant might give a name which might strike about, my friend. Oh, he is also of the same name. Okay, how happy we were, and we were in the school days, college days, something, or if, anything for that matter, right? I may not be completely thinking, or my thoughts will not be only about this, right? Maybe suddenly I might be seeing the screen. Suddenly I might think about something else, my office problem or my work, home problems at home or something, or about my kids or something else, something, right? It is not under my control, right? So I cannot say, for example, in the next fifth minute, what is the thought that is going to come inside? Nobody can say that, right? Next seventh minute, this is the thought I'm going to have. This is the emotion I'm going to have. Nobody can predict that, right? So is it under our control? No. So that is what we call as this, that is what I mean as thoughts, which is the auto mode function happens in mind also. It doesn't it doesn't ask for our permission, right? Moment I may be seeing here, but suddenly my mind, I may start thinking something else. Suddenly some other thoughts may come. So it is not under my control. As I said, every moment it is kind of refreshing, getting refreshed, right? New thoughts comes actually in scientific study, I understand that a thought actually remains only for a fraction of a second, 1/60th or something like that, they say. Of course, we can't see it or feel it directly, but that's the scientific study, as I understand. So which means every minute or every moment, a new thought, or it keeps on coming. It gets refreshed every moment. So only because of our um, activity, it actually stays, or it passes away. So we will see that subsequently. So this is the thought. Thoughts are something which is automatically it happens, right? It doesn't wait. It doesn't look for our permission. What thought should arise? We cannot direct it. I cannot say in the next fifth minute or 15th minute, I should have only this thought. I should not have this thought, things like that. That's what we call as auto mode. Similarly, in mind also, you have a manual mode, which is called as thinking. So if you see, a thought is more of a noun form, which happens on its own, whereas thinking is itself, even if the word itself is a verb form, which is action oriented. So here we are talking about things like planning activities, right? For example, even if you have to, if the organizers have to arrange this session, they have to plan so many things, right? They have to plan for the session, create a meeting invite, create a this meeting platform, arrange for this meeting platform, call the speaker, schedule the invite, send the invite to all these people, make sure everybody joins, and so many other arrangements are there, right? Get whatever permissions are required, whatever financial arrangements, all those things. So those are all we have to think. It is not, may not do it, everything before doing physical actions. We are thinking about those, right? How do I have to do it? What can be done to achieve this within this date, to achieve this within a specific timeline? How do I do this? So all those planning activities. So that is what we call as manual. Similar to how body has involuntary and voluntary functions like swimming, jumping, running, etc. The voluntary ones. So this is also even this planning is something voluntary, right? It is not if I decide not to do this meeting or something. If I decide not to attend the meeting, for example, then I don't have to plan. If I decide not to go to maybe I would have told my friend that I'll come over this weekend, right? Then I have to think about he's staying in Bangalore and I'm in Chennai, for example, right? Then I have to think about what is the transport mode, what time I should start, what are the things I should pack and in my luggage, and when do I return, how do I return, all sorts of things I have to plan and keep it ready, right? Otherwise, it's not going to happen. But again, here it is my wish. Suppose I decide that no, I don't want to take all that headache. I don't want to plan, or I'm not in a mood to visit him this weekend. I can drop all planning. I don't have to do, right? It again, it depends on me. It is my wish whether I want to do it or not. So it is voluntary. It's not a auto mode. So it is manual mode. You have to decide whether you want to do or not. Then you can start thinking about and planning about it. Otherwise, you don't have to. So it's up to us. Okay. Let me take a pause here. Anybody has anything to ask? Please feel free to interrupt. Hope you're all able to hear me. I hope.
Maybe if you can question, I think they'll answer.
No. That we have some questions. I'm keeping that in the end of the session. But before that, now if you want to share anything, even their thoughts or anything, no, I'm fine.
I think
Mutheeswaran sir, you can mute and you can ask the doubt.
Sir, good afternoon, sir.
Yes, sir.
Actually, you told about it's a negative side and then positive side.
Yeah.
But I asked for it is in between the center of positive and negative, unhappiness and then happiness. It's the center of the. If it's correct thing, I can do, but it is the unhappiness to do something. It will be me, but it's the correct thing. So
Okay.
It's me. It is the correct thing, but another person is not corrected. So what can we need to do? Actually, if the phone, you said it is lots of apps, but the phone will be sometimes it will be hanging. So in this time, how will we handle like that situation?
Okay. Yeah, good question. We will definitely come to that. So I thought whatever we have done so far, is there anything? So we'll definitely come to that. So that's why I said those physical, there are physical problems, which is all that we saw in the screen, and then there are psychological. So we are just trying to address the psychological one first, because that is the basis of everything. Once we understand this, then everything else is very, very simple. So I'll definitely touch base on that.
Arunagiri sir?
Yeah, okay. Good afternoon, sir. Sir, I have a doubt regarding, so you said that a thought process that is auto mode, right?
Yes.
Sir, that's have an effect on that process is very fast. Okay, it's drastically changing those thoughts.
Exactly.
So how to tackle that, sir? That stops me from thinking, right?
Exactly.
While thinking itself, those auto mode automatically enabled, right?
Correct.
So
Agree. That's the problem we're trying to address. Yes, you're right on track.
Okay,
that's
sir.
What we're going to talk about in the next few slides. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, sir. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so we'll proceed. Okay. I guess we can proceed now, maybe, right? If nobody else has any. Okay. So as I said, so we're going to do a joint experiment. So this mind is what is the, see why I'm saying, why I'm insisting on mind is, so as I was just telling, I think in the previous one of the examples as well, that the same object doesn't give happiness to everybody, or the same situation does not give unhappiness or sorrow to everybody, right? It depends on how people take. For example, just a very crude example, if I have to give, if uh, somebody is so for example, even if you take two people facing the same situation, having the same background, same personality, whatever you can call, similar background, similar situation, similar problems, two people doesn't take it the same way, right? You would have seen it in a typical example would be, students passing out in exams, students during the exam results time, +2 and 10th and all that, right? Some people, even though they've got bad marks or scored very poorly or even failed, they would have, a lot of people we have seen, right? That is not the end of life, right? So many people have come up to a topmost position. They would have achieved so many things in their life, even after failing in their 10th standard or 12th standard. It doesn't. That's not the end of life. So some people take it as so that is fine. I've failed at this. Let me try something else. Maybe I'm more suitable for doing a business or doing something else. I'm good at speaking, or I'm good at singing. I'm good at playing cricket. So many people, we see so many examples, right? Even our own, even today, if you see the Indian cricket players, so many people, they may not have been, educated, well educated, right? So we have so many such examples. So that is not the end of life. So some people take it this way, right? That, they're okay, even though it's a setback, even though it's a failure, they're trying to cope up with it and try to do something else, things like that, right? Try to get into what they feel is the right thing to do, etc. But then there are other categories also, who's like totally shattered, feeling like end of life, and so many people have committed suicides, right? They've ended their lives. So same situation, same thing, but some people take it in a different way, which is completely negative or shattered, etc., and end their life. So many things, and some others need not take it the same way. They take it in a different way and come up in life using some other approaches. So the situation is the same, the external situation is the same, but then people take it differently according to their mindset. So here, actually, if you see, the psychological mindset plays the difference. It is not the external situation, the same situation. Even we can talk about so many such examples, simple things like, for example, um, this is one, and scoring marks in the exam, and or getting a job, etc. Or I might want to uh, buy something, buy some object, whereas it might give happiness to me, or somebody else might be thinking, something. I may be happy with a bike. I might want to buy a bike for a long time. I might feel happier once I get it, whereas another person might be aiming for a car, for example, and he will not feel happier with it, right? He will be disappointed because he was expecting a car. So basically, it is the expectation mismatch. If you expect this much, and if you're getting an outcome of a bigger outcome, then obviously you're happy. But if the expectation is more and the outcome is lesser, then you're obviously disappointed. So the first person's outcome might be smaller, but he's still happy. But the second person, he might have got a bigger outcome, but he still feel dissatisfied because his expectation was more, right? So that's how. So basically, it's a mindset. When I say expectation, it is something to do with the something to do with the psychology. It's not the end result, or the objective outcome is the same, but two people take it differently. So that's why we say that the psychological portion is where we need to address. It is not the physical. Physical portion can be addressed easily. That's a different thing, which we will talk about a little later. But the key area, the core, we can say the central point of, or like a CPU for our whole system, is the psychological system, because that is where we experience the whole world. Whatever you see in the whole world, everything is experienced only through this psychological system, or the system called mind. If your mind is absent, if you're, for example, you may be listening to me, but if you're absent minded, or if you're not present here in your mind, You may be looking at me, but your mind might be something somewhere else, right? You might be thinking about some problems at office, home, something at all. You might be thinking. So you will not be able to experience. So same way, mind is the core unit. Even though you may be sitting here, mind, unless the mind, if you are involved in this, you will not be able to understand, or you will not be able to experience. So same thing with any situation, right? So that's why we say psychological is the portion is the one which we need to first understand clearly. So that's what we're going to try and do here. A simple kind of an experiment, a scientific experiment. We will do it jointly, and would like to know your answers as well. I have some questions lined up. We'll go through that, and then we will come to a conclusion. We will arrive at a conclusion how our mind works, right? Okay. First question is, so can I create a specific thought at a specific time as per my wish? So if I have to give an example, say today is my birthday, or so maybe I'm in a temple, I'm going to a temple, right? So I want to be, I want to create, I want this mind to produce only all holy or, positive thoughts. I should not think about, something which is negative or unwanted. So those kind of things, thoughts should not arise in me. I want only these specific set of thoughts in my mind, because today, now this next 1 hour, I'm going to be in the temple. I'm doing a puja or something. You can take any other example as per you. So will I be able to do that? Do you think I'll be able to do that? Or any of you, will you be able to do that? Can we create a specific thought in a specific instance as per your wish? Do you think that is possible? Okay, I assume silence means it's not possible, right? Okay. I mean, you can stop me if you have any questions or queries on this. Please interrupt me. I'll go to the next question. Similarly, we saw that I cannot create a specific thought. That is not possible, right? I cannot create. Similarly, can I get rid of a specific thought? Okay, I cannot create is fine.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes, please.
There is a question from.
Yes, please.
Sir, now you can unmute and ask the question, sir.
Sir, regarding the specific thought.
Yeah.
So that can be created in a human relationship.
Okay.
So specific thought at specific time.
Okay.
That is possible.
Okay.
In case of human relationship.
Okay. Like
so
you want to
meet any person.
Yeah.
At a predetermined time.
Yeah.
So we can create a thoughts on this.
Like
so
what?
This is my opinion.
Yeah, sure. Okay, maybe. So I think you're talking about thinking here, because that is actually part of thinking. I understand what you're saying, which is correct. I agree. So what I'm talking about is, I was explaining some time back as well, right? So specific thought, for example, now the time is 2:15 or whatever, right? 3:33. Yeah. Can I say this is the thought I'm going to have at 3:08, 5 minutes from now, or 7 minutes from now, or 10 minutes from now, 12 minutes from now? Can I say this is the thought I will have? This is the thought which will occur in my mind. So that is not possible, right? That was what that's what I was referring to here. Yeah.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you for it. So similarly, I cannot create a thought which is fine, but there is a thought which has already come up. Say, for example,
sir, there's another question.
Sure.
Ma'am, you can unmute and ask the question, ma'am.
So I feel that for the first question, creating a specific thought at a specific time, I think by practice it is possible.
Okay. So it is possible on a temporary interim basis, like there are some meditation techniques and all these things are there. Yes, I agree. It is possible on a temporary interim basis for some utility. You can do that, but it cannot happen in a natural way. So that is only a temporary solution. Only for the time being you can do something. It's like a manual tuning that you can do it. That's also a manual effort. You are putting some effort instead of directly creating. You are doing some workaround and you're trying to create it manually. So that's an interim, a temporary workaround which we can do. But that's
Okay.
but what I'm talking about is a permanent solution and natural stuff.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yes.
Sir, I have a question, sir.
Sure.
Sir, for example, if I have a thought like tomorrow morning by 4 o'clock I have to get up, and if I plan for that and sharply by 3:55 or so, if I get if I get up, then we can call them to be thought at a specific time, no, sir? How can you and what's your comment about this, sir?
Yeah. So that will again.
Biological clock.
Yeah. So that again is part of your training. Your as I said, no, it's a temporary. It will work on an interim basis, right? You're temporarily tuning something like tuning the. You can say there used to be those days. I think 30 years back, or I think even now, right? Some dolls have that key, right, where you can turn using that elasticity. It will work for some time. After that elasticity is gone, the tension is gone, then the doll will stop acting,
Okay.
right? You have that
Okay.
key
Yes, sir.
doll used in key, right? So it's like that. So that is temporarily possible. Yes, on a temporary basis, it is possible. What I'm talking about is a natural process, not by doing any this one. Thank
Okay,
you.
sir. Thank you, sir.
So similarly, I cannot create is fine, but some thoughts have come already. So can I get rid of them? Like for example, suddenly I felt frustrated or some unhappiness. So will I be able to get rid of that as per my wish? Today for example, today is my birthday. I want to be only happy. There should be no negative thoughts or negative emotions should arise in me at all. If at all, if it arises, I should be able to immediately get rid of them. Right? Is that possible? Do you think that is possible? If it is possible, then we will not have any problems, right? Because we can always, any worries, any frustration, sorrow, anything, we can simply get rid of them if it is easily possible, right? Right. So again, as a temporary measure, things like, for example, diversion. Suppose I'm feeling unhappy, I want to watch, I can go and watch a movie. For those, probably for some time, but still, even if you're in some midst of some activity, still something will be running in the background, right? That problem will always be running in the background. It'll just be waiting for you to come out of that activity immediately. Then you will have to still attend to that problem, right? So it will be always running in the background. So can I get rid of a specific thought as per my choice? No, that is also not possible, because if it is so, then all our worries, anger, frustration, whatever we call, all the negative things that we want to get rid of, we would have got rid of. Always we can easily get rid of, right? On a permanent basis, as a permanent solution. That's not possible, right? So next one, can I sustain a thought for a longer duration as per my wish? Suppose, say simple example could be studies, concentration, right? Some people, we want to study on, focus on this subject for next 1 hour. Then I'm not able to focus. After 30 minutes, I feel my focus drifts somewhere, or I'm thinking about something else. So all that happens, right? It is not. So even if I want to sustain a specific thought or a specific activity, or think about only that for a longer duration, so it is not going to, it's not in my hands, right? Of course, there are techniques to do that on an interim basis, but the point here I'm trying to drive is mind works on these thoughts, or the mind works in an auto mode. So how do I handle is what we need to arrive at a solution here. That's what I'm coming to. Similarly, can I shorten the duration? Some thought has come, but I wanted to, even though let it come, I don't have a problem with these thoughts coming in, but I want to keep it very short, because I want to attend to something else. Even if this thought comes, it should be there. It should remain with me for say another 30 seconds or 1 minute, 2 minutes. After that, I have to attend something else. So I'm giving a command that, okay, mind, please shorten the duration. Don't give me this thought again and again. Please reduce the duration. I want to attend to this thought only for 1 minute. Then I have something else to attend to. So like that. Even if you give this command, if it is if it is something which is running in the background, it will keep on haunting you again and again. That's why that is what is called as worries, right? Worrisome is what is all these thoughts coming again and again repeatedly. So that's what we are complaining about, right? All of us have come across such things. So that is the question, addresses this question actually. Okay, in terms of emotions, can I increase the intensity of emotions as per my wish? So when I say emotion, so today I want to feel happy, or today is my, say for example, anniversary day or marriage day or something, birthday. So I want to feel, high, want to be high on emotions. I want to feel really happy, exorbitant, excellent, whatever, completely happy. So can I increase the intensity of emotions as per my wish? No, again, it depends on the situation, right? If some situation, if there is a situation which doesn't call for that emotion, then you cannot create that emotion. You cannot create that emotion or even the intensity. You can only act or do something, some manual interim thing you can do, but otherwise a genuine happiness or genuine emotion will not arise unless the situation demands, right? And the intensity of it, you cannot say today I'm going to feel more happy, not less happy. I cannot. Or today I'm going to feel less worried than more worried. I was always worried more, today I'm going to feel only less worried, right? We don't have that kind of a control with us, right? Yeah, that was the next question of, can I reduce the intensity instead of increasing? So I'm feeling worried or sorrow or unhappiness, whatever. So let it be there, but I want to keep it in a minimum level, right? I don't want to blow it beyond the proportion so that I can focus on what I'm doing, right? On my work or the activities that I'm doing. But unfortunately, it doesn't listen to me, right? Whatever is the situation, depending on the seriousness of the situation, um, the emotions. For example, if I have to state an example, suppose I hear that one of my friend called me and he has met with an accident. He's kind of serious in the hospital, and obviously it will create some panic emotions or some kind of sorrow, unhappiness, all that, right? It will be a real with higher intensity. So I cannot say that I don't want to do this. I don't want this much of intensity of emotions. Please reduce this so that I can focus on my whatever I want to do. So we don't have that control, right? Okay. Last one is so as I was saying, do we get to know of a thought before or after it arises in our mind? Like I was saying, can I say in the next fifth minute, what is the thought that will arise in me? Or what is the thought which will not arise? So we can't say anything. So which means we come to know of a thought only after it arises, not before. So we cannot plan it prior. We only come to know only after it arises, not before. We cannot plan and create a specific thought, right? Okay. So now we have seen all these. So mind is, what is mind? Mind is about thoughts, emotions, feelings, all of this, right? That's what we call as mind. There is no physical entity called mind, right? It is a combination of whatever we can call a flow of thoughts and emotions, feelings, all of this. We just give a name, a collective name as mind. That's all. There is no physical entity called mind. Okay. So what we have seen now is we cannot create a specific thought. I cannot get rid of a specific thought as per my wish, and I cannot sustain it for a duration as per my wish. I cannot shorten the duration. I cannot increase the intensity of my emotion. I cannot reduce the intensity as well. And I do not know what thoughts will arise when we don't get to know before it arises. We only get to know after it arises, right? So all of this is not under my control. So how can I say mind is under my control? I am not operating this mind, right? So how do I say that I'm operating this mind? So mind, I'm not operating this mind. Of course, a lot of these thoughts and emotions arise based on the previous experiences, based on our subconscious mind, whatever we can call, right? I'm not getting into the technicalities, but at a superficial level also, based on whatever yesterday I've experienced, I've faced, it might create some related thought, some related experience today when I see the same thing. For example, yesterday I fought with my boss or with my colleague, right? Today I'm going to see him. Obviously, when I see him, it might create some uh, uncomfortable emotions or uncomfortable thoughts and feelings, right? When I see him, when I have to face him today. Yes, of course. So it is related to the past events or whatever had happened, right? But then I don't have a control. I cannot say it should not create or should create, right? It happens on its own. So what we understand from this is mind is this whole thing called thoughts, as I explained, is in completely auto mode. It doesn't listen to us. It is a completely autonomous system. We don't have any control at all. So we don't have to. So all of this happens on its own. And the next one is. So the beauty of this is it also subsides on its own. So that's the whole point actually, which most of us are not aware or probably miss it. Or we must have also experienced in a different way. For example, if I have to tell you, some people must have lost some close relative or somebody, right? Somebody, a close friend or somebody. So though you may feel very bad and shocked during the time, after some time, maybe 3 months, 6 months, depending on the intensity. So slowly you will come back to normal, right? It is not that thought or that emotion is always stuck with you. It slowly you slowly will get released. Of course, there are some people, who get into depression and all sorts of things. So that's a different thing. I'm not talking about them. So generally, again, those are all manual. I will come to that. So generally, we cannot hold on to these emotions or thoughts, as we have seen in one of these questions as well, that I cannot get rid of a specific thought as per my wish, or I cannot create a specific thought. So thoughts it is like there is a space only for one thought. It is like you must have seen in a railway railway station. On a platform, if you see and watch how the trains go, each compartment will pass on one by one, right? Every compartment, moment this compartment passes, the next compartment will come, right? That's how it goes. So similar way, all these thoughts also come one by one actually. So moment the previous thought is gone, or the next thought has come, already the previous thought is gone. It is actually everything is happening momentarily. I mean, since you are from the science background, I can quote the science one. So even this whole galaxy, this whole world, or even our body cells, right? I think every cell, or cells get destroyed and new cells get created every moment, or breathing, and this whole galaxy, this earth movement, everything is moving, right? Nothing is stagnant, nothing is waiting for us to act on it, right? Everything is moving, everything is fresh every moment. That's how it is. So our nature, even this mind also, is a natural process. It is actually fresh every moment. It creates new thoughts every moment. As I said, as per science, as per the study, it is about 1/60th of a second. The value or the life of a thought is 1/60th of a second. So you have so many thoughts coming in. Only thing is, we will not recognize all of them. Only whichever is important, whichever we focus, only that we will be able to recognize and memorize also, right? So that's the power of this mind. So the point I was trying to say is, we don't have to drive any of these. We don't have to drive away any of the negative emotions, because all these emotions arise on their own. We don't have any control. Like how they arise, they also subside. They also vanish on their own. So that's the beauty. So we think that we always have an opinion that whenever a worry arises, I have to somehow fight with that worry and somehow push it and get rid of my mind. No, that is not the case. We might have, we are mistaken. Actually, we are mistaken. We are mistakenly thinking that I have to get rid of this specific thought. If I don't like something, I have to get rid of this specific frustration, worry, sorrow, anger, whatever it is. So we think that I have the responsibility to correct it. I have the responsibility, ownership to keep this mind in a pure form. All positive thoughts only should arise. No negative thoughts, negative emotions should not arise. So this is the kind of myth or a wrong opinion we've all been having. So the truth is, like how these thoughts and emotions arise on their own, it also subside on their own. Like how the waves in the sea, it arises and subsides. The next thought comes, arises, subsides. Then the next thought comes, arises, subsides. So that's how it happens. That's the beauty of this whole system. We don't have to attend to any of these thoughts at all. Our job is so the problem comes only. So some people might have questions like, then why if there is a worry or sorrow or something happens, then why is it getting elongated? Why does it sustain? Why am I worried for days and days together? So that is where the problems, that is where we need to understand there is something called thought and thinking. We already saw, right? There is a thought. So we have to differentiate these two. There is a thought, which means it's an auto mode, which happens on its own. And there is something called thinking. which is our manual effort. So the problem is this manual effort is needed only for the external activities. Like as I said, if I have to plan my trip, if I'm going on a vacation, I have to plan my trip, I'm going somewhere, I'm going to write something, exam, or I'm going to appear for an interview, then I have to think. I have to use my thinking process. But the problem is we are applying that same thinking process, this manual effort, towards mind also. That's the whole problem. Towards this internal psychological system also. We think that I have to somehow get rid of this anger. I have to get rid of this sorrow. I have to retain this happiness. Moment I get a happiness, I have to somehow grab and retain, hold it. I should not leave it. I have to get rid of this unhappiness. So we are actually trying to use our intelligence, use our knowledge and reasoning to correct this mind, to keep our mind in a specific shape or a certain shape that we want, that we expect. But the truth is, this is not something under our control at all, and we don't have to worry about it. It is not that, it is actually, in reality, it is not under our control. You may try to control, that's a different thing. It may also pretend like working for some time. That's why I said whether we want to do meditation, whatever it is, any exercises, it will only listen to you on a temporary basis, on an interim basis. You can try to tune it around. It's like you're trying to bend or you're trying to stretch the elasticity like a rubber band. Yes, it'll stretch for some time, but beyond a point, after some time, that is, if you leave it, it is its natural state. It'll come back to its natural state. If you stretch a rubber band, it'll work for some time on a temporary basis. But if you leave it, if you put down all your efforts, then it'll come back to its original state. So that's how this mind functions also. So we don't have any control on any of the thoughts, emotions, feelings, whatever arises in us. So only if you try to do something, it might work for some time, then it will go back to its same natural state. And the beauty is, as I said, we don't have to do anything at all. We don't have to take responsibility to keep this mind in a pure form or correct these emotions, correct these thoughts. We don't have to do that. So because this is the natural process, we don't have to worry about keeping this mind in a pure form or keeping only keeping only positive thoughts, getting rid of negative thoughts. That's not even required, because if you simply allow it, the next moment, next thought will come, this thought would have already gone. It is because all these thoughts are in our memory only, right? In this moment, if I think about something happened in the past, I am only thinking about it, bringing this into my memory, and I'm just reliving that whole thing again and again. Some unfortunate incident happened yesterday, for example. Then if I'm thinking about it, getting frustrated means which I'm just thinking about it. I'm holding it. I'm keep on brooding about the same worry again and again and again and again and again. Manually, I'm doing it. So this is the thinking process. So this thinking process actually causes all worries to get extended, get sustained. So that is the one which gives us a feeling that these worries are sustaining with me for a long period of time. What should I do? Why am I worried? This worry I'm not able to get rid of my worries for 3 months or 3 days. Because of this incident, I got worried, but I'm not able to get rid of this. A lot of people have such problems, right? And all of us are facing that problem. So the truth is, we don't have to do anything. It is simply if you allow and accept that this is not under my control. If you drop all your efforts towards correcting these thoughts, emotions, and feelings, it'll go undisturbed. Only because of our disturbance, actually it gets stuck. It is actually about to leave. It is like you're trying to stop the water flow. It is about to leave and it is about to move away, but actually you are trying to stop it because of your intelligence, and you're trying to reason, this is how my mind should be, this is how it should work, this is how it should not work. We create our own rules, we form our own rules and try to control this mind. So that is where the whole problem arises. So the problem is more on our efforts here, trying to correct it. So our efforts are needed only for the external activities. If you want to plan your work, study, plan for a vacation, yes, there your efforts are needed. Nothing will happen on its own. If you want to pass an exam, you have to work hard. You have to get that idea in your mind. You have to use your mind. You have to train your mind to understand that concept. Then only you'll be able to pass that exam. It's not going to happen on its own. But whereas an emotion, a thought or something, it doesn't require, you're only creating a disturbance. So we'll just see that in this one. See, just a small example is you must have seen that ripples form in the water. When you create some disturbance in the water, there are ripples formed, right? So these ripples are various thoughts and emotions that you want to get rid of. So how do I get rid of these ripples now? What should I do? How do I get rid of these ripples which get formed in the water? What will I do? So if I try to do anything, it will only cause more ripples, right? Because whatever effort that you're putting in, it's only going to cause more ripples. It's only going to disturb the existing stillness already there. So only by giving freedom, by not doing anything, which is by taking your hand off, then automatically things will settle on its own. You don't have to do anything. So it is exactly like that. Our mind functions exactly like that. If you try to disturb the whole flow, this natural flow, then that creates only more and more disturbances. It will only non-stop ripples. You will not be able to stop the ripples by using your hand, right? It will only create more and more ripples. You will never be able to stop those ripples. But whereas if you simply give freedom, if you take away your hand, take off your hand, step off, simply allow to happen. Whatever happens, let it happen. If you allow it, then it will easily pass away. If you give freedom to it, it will pass away within no time. And this is not just a theoretical example or some psychology or some books which I've read or something like that. This is exactly happening, not just with me, hundreds of my colleagues, and all of us are completely benefited by this. You know, a lot of people, and this is how mind behaves. It is not that we have understood or we have got some extra ordinary knowledge or something like that. This is how mind behaves. We were just thinking, having a wrong opinion that I have to correct my mind. I am responsible for whatever thoughts arises in me. So that's the kind of wrong opinion that we have had, and nobody has taught us that this is how mind functions. So if you simply allow, if you don't disturb this flow, it gets corrected on its own. We don't have to do anything. Nature corrects on its own, actually. So where your effort is needed is only on the external world activities, not here. We don't have to do anything here. Our focus is only required on the outside, not here. We don't have to look at our own self. So that's the whole point which I want to drive. So any thoughts, any emotions, it is something like, you know, for example, if I'm sitting at home, and somebody is pressing the calling bell, then I have to attend. I have to go and attend. So it is my responsibility. Whereas if somebody is pressing the calling bell of the neighboring house, then I don't have to attend, right? So same way, these are all, I am not creating these thoughts. I am not responsible for these thoughts and emotions. It comes on its own. So I don't have to take the responsibility of correcting it also. I don't have to even respond. Whatever it may say, it might say anything. That is not a problem at all. So your objective or your work, my effort is only there on the external world activity. So that's what you have to understand. Of course, this is like you know, taking a complete 180-degree shift. So yes, there may be little struggle initially because we were always used to walk in one direction. Now we are saying, no, this is not the approach and you have to take a U-turn. So there might be some little bit of glitches and little bit of, what should I say, little bit of struggle there. But once we understand, it is completely, I mean, once you understand the freedom, you yourself will know. So that's the kind of psychological freedom we all can arrive at. So if I have to say, this has completely changed the way I see my life, the perspective I have in life, and completely free from all worries, always peaceful, always silent, always kind of happy, all sorts of things. And it is not, as I said, it is not just with me. So many of my colleagues will vouch, and so many people have benefited from this. So, and it is a purely a simple science. I am not saying that you have to believe some master, you have to you know, worship some guru, you have to go through this religion, nothing of that sort. It's a simple science, it's a logic. I've not given anything which is illogical. You can, and it is completely, it's like an experiment. You can test it on your own. You can try. If you think you can control your mind, you try to control and see whether it comes under your control. You can try it out. And moment you understand that it is not under my control, the sooner you understand that this is not under my control and leave this effort of trying to leave this habit or trying to control, drop this effort of trying to control, then things will settle on its own. You will see the magic. Actually, it will settle on its own. It is only because of our effort. It is completely unsettled. If you leave it, it will get settled on its own within, you know, within a very short span of time. So that's what I wanted to say so far. And so basically that's what we are actually, in terms of benefits, what we are talking about is, so we all are carrying our baggage of emotional baggage and thoughts and emotions, so many things, right? And walking along with that, so many baggage we have. So, and walking along with that, how will you do all your activities? You will not be able to do your activities in the best manner, right? Whereas once you understand, and this is the before understanding. So once you understand and get freed from all your emotional baggages, you don't have to worry about any of the emotions occurring inside. Then you will be completely free. You can walk free. You can do whatever you want to do in a better manner, in an efficient manner. See, I'm not saying coming to that physical activities. So physical activities, this doesn't mean that you will become a superstar immediately the next day, not like that. So the only advantage is before this psychological freedom, before this understanding, you are kind of bogged down with this baggage you are always carrying. So you will not be able to do your activities in the best efficient manner. Whereas once you understand that this is how mind functions, then you can simply press the accelerator whenever you want. You can simply press the brake. You can take rest whenever you want. You don't have to worry about, you don't have to keep responding to every other thought which is going on in our mind. We don't have to do that. So once you become completely free, then you can easily focus your external activities in a much better way. You can be much more efficient. So that's the whole. So all this does is your emotional baggage will be dropped, and you will be able to function much more efficiently in your external world activities. So I'll take a pause if you have any questions, because this is the key concept that we want to drive through. So then we will take some questions.
If anybody having doubts, you can raise your hands.
So no doubts, meaning everybody is understood, no questions at all, or not understood completely. Or if you want to share your views, anything, that's also fine. No comments, no. Nobody has raised their hand, is it?
Ma'am, you can unmute and
Okay.
So there's not any query, sir.
Sure.
Just want to make an observation.
Sure.
I have heard that in transcendental meditation also, meditation generally is understood to be something that we use to control our mind or activities,
Correct.
kind of. So in transcendental meditation, I've heard that it's the other way around. You allow it to go, allow it to flow.
Yeah.
Not have any, not try to control it, allow it to flow. So what
Correct.
you're saying is somewhat similar to that understanding. That's what I just wanted to make an observation here.
Yes, exactly. As you rightly said, allowing it to flow. Only difference is allowing is also, it is not an activity. So if you keep it as a training or an exercise, then again, today I was able to allow, tomorrow I'm not able to allow. Yesterday I was able to allow, today I'm not able to allow. Again, you will get into that same trying to control and trying to bring up certain emotions. So here, what we are saying is this whole system is natural. You don't have to do anything at all. We are completely free. It is like you are freed from all your responsibilities to keep up this mind in a specific shape. So we don't have to
go with the flow.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. So basically, yeah, that's true. So all our responsibilities only lie in the external activities, the way you behave and in the external world. Only that you can keep it, depending on the society, the rules and regulations of the society. But whereas inside, whatever can come, anything, you can welcome anything. It can be even totally haphazard, no problems, because it is going to, it is like you are writing in the water. Actually, you don't have to worry about a spelling while writing. Suppose if there is a spelling mistake while writing on the water, is there a problem? Because next moment it's going to get erased. So same way, mind is actually moment to moment. It is not something which is stuck permanently. It is getting erased every moment. Only because of our disturbance, we are trying to keep it unerased. We are only holding it actually. If you simply allow it, everything will pass away. We will be able to do much better in our external activities. That's how this works.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. Any other comments or questions? Anybody? Okay, I think we are on top of our timing, right?
Timing doesn't matter, Anand.
Okay, fine, no problem.
You can take your time.
Sure. Okay, so maybe I'll end with one practical experiment also, just to give another point of view. So initially, basically the same point. So we were talking about, initially I was just narrating an incident. Then we went through the concept, the theory of it, and then we did an experiment, how thoughts function and all that. In same way, it's more of a practical. We are talking about the same thing, but in different ways. So I'll probably show this in front of the camera.
Sir, there is one person have raised that.
Sure, yeah.
Mutheeswaran, sir. You can unmute and.
Mutheeswaran.
Just a moment.
Okay. You want to ask?
You have, sir. Actually, you what I learned means you have anything to worry. If you have anything, you just drop it. Whatever it has, you just flow on this water. Whatever it can be happen, you just allow it. Whatever it will be.
Yeah, sort of. As I was just explaining the other lady as well now. Even here, allow is also not an action. Yeah, allow also, you don't have to torture yourself to allow something. No, allow is also, it is already flowing. We don't have to give permission to allow. Actually, it is already running. It is like you are saying allowing the earth to spin. No, earth is already spinning. Unless only if you stop it, there will be a problem. So it is like that. This is part of nature. Blood flow is already happening. Breathing is already happening. Only if you stop it, then you are disturbing that function. Similarly, this worries or anything, it is already flowing only. It is in the flow. It is happening every moment to moment, like how a train compartment passing, in the railway platform, it is passing one by one. It is not waiting for us to get rid of. It is not waiting. It is not waiting for me to push it away. No, it is already passing only because we try to disturb. Because thinking that I have to take care of this, or this is my mind, this is the thought which is arised in me, I have to somehow rectify, I have to somehow correct this. We have all these thoughts. That's why we try to disturb.
I saw the number. If it's 6, my opposite person saw the number. If it's 9, so I need what in the situation what I'll do. I just drop it. Okay, I just accept your word, or otherwise I just no. I see the number. If it's 6, is it the 6? Is it that is the number was 6? What is it? How did it?
I get your point. So as I was saying, only the psychological portion, we are talking about psychological portion, only that is natural. Whereas the external world actions is not natural, right? This is a society that we have created. It's completely artificial, man-made. So this 9 and 6 that we are talking about, other person, when you're talking about other person itself, it is an artificial, it's an external world related activity. There you have to go by the rules of the society, rules of the world. Right? If it is really 9 and 6, then you have to resolve the dispute, right? If you're seeing something else, then you have to resolve the dispute or whatever it is, whatever action appropriate in the external world that we have to do. We are only talking about the emotions it causes. Any action that we do, it triggers an emotion, it triggers a feeling, a thought inside, right? Depending on the outcome of the action, it triggers a positive emotion or it triggers a negative emotion. And we are stuck only here. All our energy, 80% or 90% of energy is stuck here. We are trying to solve this problem. Not, only 10% of the energy goes to the actual external problem. because we are stuck here itself, right? Somebody wants to say, speak in front of a stage. I'm stuck here. Will I do correctly? Will I do this? Will I blabber? Will I, all such things, all nervous, everything is here. It is not about the activity. We are not at all thinking about the act of doing the task. It is here. We are stuck in the psychological system itself. We are trying to correct this psychological system and stuck. All our energy is stuck here. So what I'm saying is, you don't have to correct this psychological system at all. Be free. You don't have to do anything here. All you have to do is here, outside. So which means all your energy is available here. You're not getting stuck here. So you can do your activities in a much efficient, better manner. So that's what we are trying to say. Only the psychological portion is natural. Here you don't have to intervene at all. You don't have to interfere at all. That's what we are trying to say.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yes.
Sir, after your presentation, some contradictions are coming into mind. Again,
Sure.
it's a thought.
Yeah.
So as you told, because every now and then we used to get it. Every morning messages, motivation messages, the content of that is your thought decides your life. The intensity of thought decides your life. If you are thinking positive, you will be. So many proverbs or you can say motivations are coming based on this. So I get I got little confused, sir. So can you clarify, sir?
Yes. Yeah, very good question. Yeah. As I was saying, you don't have to apply. All these are applicable only for your external activities. Positive thoughts, result in good positive actions or whatever it is. It decides your life and all that is only about external actions. Yes. If you apply all this for your external activities and if it works for you, good, you can use it. You can do your work in a better way. You can do your activities in a much better way. But don't turn that, use that, apply that here inside. Because of positive thought, my mind should be positive. Because of applying this, reading this positive quote every day, I should feel happy. Then you are again in a struggle. Then you are trying to disturb the whole flow. It will not work against your mind, your psychological system. It will work against in the external world, it will work. It might work for you. It might not work for somebody. That is different. That is up to you whether you want to follow or not. That is absolutely fine. For external world, it is completely, whatever philosophies or whatever logic everybody individual has, it is up to the individual. But here, it is not individual, doesn't decide. Here it is natural. Psychological system is very natural. It is part of the natural system. So here, if you apply your logic, you're only going to confront. You're only going to start fighting with a wall, for example, or fighting with your shadow. Right? Shadow is only a resemblance of your this one. You cannot fight with the shadow, means it is not going to help. So
whether you mean it natural acceptance, sir, within mind, whatever comes, whether that is the correct word?
Yes, correct. Natural acceptance, however you understand, whichever word you understand, you can take it. But the point is, I don't have to interfere here with this natural. The psychological system is a natural system. I don't have to interfere at all. All that is available is only the external world. You can even forget that there is something called psychological system, something called mind, because there is nothing you can do here. All this is completely not under our control. Whatever happens inside, only using that emotion, you can use it, apply for your external world activities. For example, fear is not always negative. For example, if I'm driving a car and I'm driving at say 120 140 kilometer speed, so somebody is telling me that telling me that some last week somebody went at this speed, there is a turning here, you have to be very careful, or it happened like this, some accident happened, then suddenly some fear may come in me, right? So using that fear, what will I do? I will probably have a control. I will reduce my speed. I will control. So you can apply this fear for doing your external activity in a better way, but you don't have to worry about why should fear, how can I be fearful? I should not be having fear at all. That is the problem. I should not be feeling worry at all is not a problem. If you are failing, suppose if you failed in your exam, you are feeling worried. Yes, that is how natural. That is natural. Using that worry, you can work on it and try to correct it and improve. But you don't have to worry about worry itself. That's what we are talking.
Because with that we get stuck on and we don't proceed.
Yes.
That is the thing.
Yes, correct.
Thank you very much, sir.
Yeah. I'll just show this experiment maybe. small experiment, which will again, so this is a glass of water where you will see all muddy, dirty things, which we call, we can take it as negative emotions or thoughts or some unwanted emotions, thoughts. And this glass container is the mind, which we are talking about. I will show this in my video so that you will know clearly. So hope we are able to see. So this is what I showed it in, right? This is your mind, and this is the water, and all these dirty particles are the emotions that you want to get rid of, right? So see what happens. I mean, of course, this is nothing, no rocket science, but simple thing so that you can understand. That's all. That is the objective. Just a different point of view. That's all. I will show it maybe here in the camera. Yeah. So here, these are the negative emotions, and this spoon is what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to do some manual effort. I'm trying to clean up my mind, right? I'm trying to clean up my mind by doing some activities, by doing meditation, exercise, doing this and that, thinking about it, trying to solve this, get rid of my thoughts. Whatever I do, nothing is going to happen. All my emotions, thoughts, whatever I wanted to get rid of, still going to continue, right? Nothing is going to happen. Whatever I do, it will only get more dirtier. The water will get more muddier. Nothing is going to happen. Like, as I said, or whatever efforts you put against this natural system, it is something like this. You're trying to clean up the water by trying to work on it. So it will never get clean. You can do it endlessly. You can do it endlessly, for the whole of your lifetime. So same way is your mind. If you're trying to correct your emotions, trying to keep it calm, trying to keep it silent, trying to feel satisfied, all that is you're working against your mind only. So what is the solution now? Simple solution is, I don't have to do it. Simply, I'll take off my hand. That's all. I will simply take off my hand, just step off, right? I don't have to do anything. It is that simple. So mind actually works this way. You will be surprised that mind works this way. Once you notice, once you do, if you experiment on your own, you can test it out. It is not that you don't have to believe just because I'm saying. You can test it out. Mind behaves this way. So once you take off your hand from the spoon, you don't have to do anything. Simply take off your hand. That's all. It will settle on its own. Everything will settle on its own, and it will become crystal clear. So same way, mind also is a natural process. The problem is only because of your interruption. It causes all sorts of problems and complications, worries, anger, frustration, so many things. Once you allow it to, if you give full freedom, take off your hand, then everything will come to an equilibrium, a balance on its own. And even medically also, I've seen that so many people have got benefited, because I think a lot of diseases, or some of the diseases, I think, are psychosomatic, right? A lot of things we say that it is all because of mind, right? So once this mind is, if you allow this natural flow, even a lot of medical problems also get resolved. I've seen that in so many people. So that's the point I thought of conveying. So hope it is clear. And again, if you have any questions, even now or further, I think in my first slide, I had given my number. Feel free to, or you can take it from the organizer. Feel free to reach out to me, and we can interact if required.
You can share the first slide so that they
Sure.
can.
Yeah, is it visible?
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is my WhatsApp number, and you can think about it, ponder about this, and have any questions, or if you are interested in understanding it further and all that, so you can always reach out.
Any questions? There are no questions. Okay, Anand, I think
Yeah, there
if
is
they
one.
have any questions, I think directly they'll contact
Somebody
you.
has, I think one person has raised hand.
this one. Okay, we have the mail ID also. I think
Yes,
if there
yeah.
are queries, I think they can mail, and you have shared your number also.
Yes.
Thank you, Anand sir,
Thank
for sharing your experience in this line. And I also agree that if we spend most of our energy to control the external world and concentrate on our external activities, both in the personal life as well as professional life, we will succeed instead of fighting with our internally with our mind. So it's going to be waste of mind, and most of the energy we will lose in fighting with our internal mind, so that we will not succeed with our external activities. That is what I learned from your when I attended your first lecture. And okay, hope everyone agree with that, and we'll try to follow it. It is difficult to follow. Many times I also find it difficult, but I agree with the function of the mind. Thank you so much for interacting.
Yeah, thanks once again for the opportunity given, because a lot of people may not encourage such activities, especially in the midst of some medical conference which is going on. So this is absolutely fantastic, and the audience also for patiently listening and trying to take away the message from this session. I hope it will be useful and beneficial to all of you. We'll be happy to address any questions and all that separately as well. Thank you all.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.